Hotep, Hotep, Ma'at and Maakheru Amen here, and welcome to the Wavespell word. We are entering the Wavespell of the white wind. We begin with the white magnetic wind and end with the white cosmic wizard. All 13 archetypes in this Wavespell work together to make up the free communication. The white wind Wavespell is the actual frequency of communication. Now, before we get into it, we need to break down the word communication. Communication means to commune. Okay, and commune means to share. And it means if you use the word common means it's everywhere, every place, always sharing. Okay, and so when we talk about communication, and when we talk about the communications of multidimensional beings, of gods, of higher selves, of divine beings, then we're talking about spiritual communication. Okay, high frequency communication. And it's very, because we're using the word communication, it's frequent. It's everywhere. It's all the time. It is literally the air. So that's why it's called the wind. If you think about it, we only really notice the wind when it's moving. So what is wind when it's not moving? It's air. And one of my teachers actually told me this early on when I was learning this information, when I was remembering this information, and when I was becoming aware of my archetype, which is the white wind. Okay, so it is literally the air. It is what you breathe. Okay, so we talk about how you are what you eat. You are what you breathe. So what are you breathing in? So most of the time when we think about communication or spiritual communication, again, we think we need to sit down in lotus and we need to have a channel, or we need to have we need to get a reading and seek the ancestors and all of that. Yes, that is spiritual communication, but we're talking about what's common, what is available for you at all times. The molecules in the air. Our communication is signals. We are constantly sending and absorbing spiritual signals from everywhere, from every place. And so now you have to determine where you're getting those, what signals you're paying attention to, because it's everywhere. Remember, it's common, because we're talking about communication. And so the best thing to do is to always focus your commune or your communication on the signals that are specifically designed for your purpose, because that is the strongest frequency available to you. But most of us, it's funny because we're talking about common frequencies. Most of the time we are using the highways. Okay, we talk about communication. We're using the communication highway. We're using the wavelengths, the artificial wavelengths that are set up to keep us all in forgetfulness, all in forgetfulness of who we are and what our purpose is. Okay, when we can go around traffic if we just focus on our wavelength, on our highway that is specifically designed for our purpose. That is the highest frequency. That is what is always trying to communicate with you constantly. It is actually the strongest frequency that you have, that we all have. And in most cases, we are not looking at those signals. Okay, so the white wind reminds us that this communication is all the time. Every in breath, every out breath. And it is always available to us in all kinds of ways. It's not just channeling something or an ancestor, a spiritual being, a divine being, someone, a Neteru, Orisha, okay, Aboson. It is not always doing that. It is available to you all the time because it's right here, and it's you. You are spiritual. You are spiritual communication. Our metaphysical bodies are set up to send and absorb spiritual frequencies all the time. The air that we breathe on this planet is full of spiritual signals, and we can tap into any one of them that we want to. But the best thing to do to make sure we stay on the path is to tap into the wavelength that is set up and is specifically designed for our purpose. So this is what the white wind wave spell is here to do, is to be that voice of communication, the speaking tube of God, or the speaking tube of spirit, the speaking tube of divine beings, all divine beings, all beings. Tell you what is, it is no judgment on it. Okay, can tell you, the white wind can tell you all the communication, everything that's out there, because it's all out there. But right now we're being on purpose. So we're focusing on the wavelengths that are associated with our purposes. And this is what this wave spell is here to remind us. We're looking to evolve higher and higher. We're looking to take what we gained from the last wave spell of purification. Okay, and now that we are purified, now we're looking at taking that to a level of, all right, now that we cleared everything out, what wavelength are we operating on? What signals are we sending and absorbing at this point? Because we purified everything in the last wave spell. So now we have the opportunity now to take that to a higher level and tap into the communication, what's common for us. Let's make what's common for us our purpose. Not somebody else's purpose for us, not an artificial wavelength that is set up to make us all sheep. Okay, let's now take this and make what's common our own frequency for our own purpose, because it really is the strongest force. All we have to do is identify it, access it, align with it, be with it. Okay, and we don't have to sit in lotus to do it. It's right here to say, okay, look. I heard in the wave spell word that my wavelength is always right here all the time. It's the strongest frequency I have. Let's see it. Okay, and let's take it to the next level. This wave spell begins with the unification of communication. Okay, so unifying everything that you can communicate with for your purpose and attract that frequency for your purpose. So you're literally breathing in and breathing out the atmosphere of your purpose, your wavelength. Because now we know you can breathe in and out any wavelength, because it's always right here. It's common, it's frequency, it's shared. Okay, but we want to fine tune this now to tap into our very purpose. Why? Because we just purified. Okay, you don't want to purify and then go back to just, anything and let any and everything come your way. Nope, we're going to tap into our specific purpose and commune with that wavelength and make that our breath. Make that what we breathe in and out in every moment. And it ends with the transcendence of that receptivity. So when we're talking, I know these are some cosmic words that we're using here, but they are important, okay? Because transcend means beyond. Okay, receptivity, that's everything that's available. That's what we were just talking about. Okay, and the everlasting presence of timelessness. So now what is this telling us? This means that we have access to this all the time. It's endless. Okay, and we can experiment with this at will, because there is no time. Okay, so that if you feel like you made a mistake, oh man, oh shoot, I forgot to breathe in and out my wavelength today, that's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the artificial calendar is telling you a day is. Okay, all you have to do is operate on your wavelength. One of the things that I would say commonly about these wave spells is you just want to ride the wave spell. Okay, allowed to use the wave spell as directed. This is the wave spell of communication. Okay, of spiritual communication. And so you want your frequency, your common frequency, to be the one that's assigned directly to you. Just ride that. Just ride that. And at the end of this week, we have the everlasting presence of that, so that it is commonplace. So this is what we're breathing in and out. Because after this, we're going to move into transformation. All right, so that's all that I have for the wave spell word. If you want to learn more about wave spells and Olmec cosmology, you want to check out the events, programs, services, classes, and forums on MIMEC. We are Melanated Immortals, making evolutionary changes. Hotep.